I thought my boyfriend was cheating on me with my best friend, now I feel awful. Throwaway because my boyfriend uses Reddit. So I, 26F, have been dating my boyfriend, 27M, we will call him Mark, for about 5 years. It started off as a long-distance friendship off an app named Amino. We met in a group roleplay and soon started talking to each other about our likes and hobbies and soon realized we had a lot in common. We were talking back and forth, eventually took it to Discord, for about a year before I bit the bullet, pushed through my fear of rejection, and asked him if we could do dating. He was ecstatic and so was I. So we tried the long-distance dating thing. It was hard at times, but we made it work. After he graduated college, he surprised me by telling me he found a job in my city and he was moving closer to me. I was happy and I helped him move into his apartment. I was still in college at that time and lived in the dorms, so I was mainly by his house until I moved in after graduation. Now on to my best friend, who will we call Bella, 26F. Bella have been my best friend since literally birth. Our moms met at the hospital where they delivered us. They was brought together because the nurses made a mistake and switched us around accidentally. It was only noticed because my mom noticed that my Mongolian spot, which she said looked like Texas on my back, was missing, and her mother noticed the mark on my back when they handed me to her. She said she thought the nurses abused me in some way and was ready to raise hell on earth. Bella and I have been through everything together. Elementary school, middle school, bullies, proms, dances, first relationships, breakups, even when I came out to my parents as Pan and when my parents died when I was 24, we were there for each other for everything. Sorry for the rambling in the background, I just wanted understood how these two people are my everything. Now on to the story. I've noticed lately that Mark have been hiding some things and lying. We used to be on Life 360 because I'm a paranoid black woman in America, but now, his location is always off. He would always smile at his phone, and when I asked what got him so giddy, most of the time as a small joke or to share in the happiness with him, he would always tell me, oh it's nothing, just penguin/any type of animal, or just try to distract me, i.e. are we going out for dinner tonight? How so and so, what do you think about finally watching that movie you was telling me about? At first, I didn't think much of it because he would always act so sweet and nice after letting me sit in his lap, asking me about my day, and cuddles. But eventually I got this nagging feeling that something was wrong. I decided to try to ask my best friend for advice, but Bella always brushed it off too, telling me I had a good man and that he'd never do that to the most perfect woman in his life and so on. However, one time when me and Bella was finishing up at the gym, she handed me her phone to let me see a couple of pictures she took from her last cruise. She had to leave for a second to renew her membership and left the phone with me because I was watching a performance she recorded from the cruise, a musical melody or whatever a mashup is called. The second she walked away, a message from Facebook Messenger popped up, and admittedly my eyes did flash up to it. I saw it was from Mark. It had said, "Are you with her right now?" I thought it was sweet that he was trying to covertly check on me, so I was about to go to the messages and text him back as myself to say hi, but when I opened the chat, I saw so many bubbles about video calls with few sparring messages. I couldn't help but look through them and seeing messages like, "So when are you going to tell her, isn't she your bestie for the rest high, she's getting suspicious and paranoid, call me." At the time those seemed like messages that affair partners would send each other. I was hurt and couldn't believe it. I quickly exited out of the bubble and sped it down so it could disappear and pretended to watch the rest of the video as I thought about what was happening. Bella soon came back and I handed her back her phone. She tried to show me more pictures, but I told her I'll have to look at them later because I was ready to go home due to a headache. She drove me home and when I got out, Mark greeted me and gave me a kiss on the forehead before turning to smile at Bella and waved bye. I felt sick to my stomach watching that, and in that moment all I could think about was him cheating and how far did he take it with her. I was cold for a couple days as I tried to gather myself and my things to get ready to just leave, but 2 days ago, after trying to initiate a cuddle on the couch and me saying I was too hot to cuddle, Mark got a message on his phone. He claimed he had to go, that he had a work emergency at his IT office and quickly left after giving me a kiss on the forehead. I knew there wasn't a work emergency, so I did something I thought I would regret at the time and followed him. I followed him all the way to the mall. I saw him walking into a JCPenney outlet, and as I was about to get out my car to walk in and follow him, I noticed that inside was Bella. I waited until I was sure they wouldn't notice me getting out of my car and I followed them around. I wanted to take a picture of them on their little date, but as they passed all the items in the store, it became a bit obvious that they weren't acting couple Y or anything. Still, I followed them up until they went into a local jewelry store that was known for making wedding rings. At this point I was confused. I didn't go inside yet because I was scared. But eventually, I did march in and immediately asked what was going on. They both looked terrified, including the employee who was helping them. Admittedly, I did start to go off and call them both names I didn't mean, but just wanted to use to hurt them until Mark grabbed my arms, which I didn't realize I was flailing at the time, before pulling me over to the counter. He grabbed the box off the counter and started off with "This isn't how I wanted to do it," but before getting on one knee and started proposing. He went on about how he noticed that he couldn't live without me and how I was his world. He explained everything away, how he knew Bella was my best friend, so he asked for her help to find me a ring and plan an elaborate proposal. Before I could answer, he slipped the ring on my finger and I just bursted out crying and apologizing for what I had just said about the two of them and apologized for thinking they could betray me like that. I accepted his proposal and he paid for the ring then and there. I found out it was a custom piece he had been paying installments on, and they had messaged him that the ring was ready and all he needed to do was pay the last installment on it, and then took me home. It's been 2 days and my friend just sent me the video she took of his proposal. It had started in the middle since it was sudden, but as I look it over, I can't help but feel awful and guilty about it. I don't know what to do. But at the same time, I'm still a little doubtful and I don't understand why. Anyways, dirty for the ramble, it's just a lot and confusing. Any type of advice is welcomed.